Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ellen. So today we're having fun with those two colors again, maybe adding another one. Doing some semi-abstract watercolor cards, doing a nautical sailboat, and this really kind of cool, just very in your face, lightly, brightly lit buildings. Super simple. You don't need a trace for this. Just manipulating the brush. It's a flat wash brush manipulation, adding and granulating color, playing around with that. These are all the things you need to do to try and figure out what kind of style you want to have, right? Manipulating the brush, playing with the color, playing with techniques. And as you keep doing these, practicing over and over again, you'll kind of veer towards something. You'll veer towards certain colors, certain styles. Maybe you like it tighter, maybe you like it looser, maybe you like, don't like flat wash brush and you like the round brush. These are things you have to figure out by practicing. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. But without further ado, let's get painting. Okay, so let me go over some supplies that I have. I'm using Arsh 100% cotton cold pressed paper. I taped it down with Scotch Magic tape just on a piece of cardboard just to keep it in place. I like this paper because of the tooth of it and how it soaks in the paint. The Scotch Magic tape works for me. You can use whatever tape works for you. And like I said, on cardboard so you can move it around if you want. This is another tutorial using a flat wash brush. I have my Princeton Velvet Touch Series 3/4 inch. I also have another one I bought. It's a 1/2 inch. And again, manipulating the brush, a little abstract kind of sailboat. I had this idea a long time ago and I did some colorful ones. It just didn't look right to me. And I figured, I know what I did wrong. I need to do more neutrals, right? So we're going to start by just taking this brush and mixing up some color. And so we want neutral colors. Think of beiges and browns and grays. Of course, it's bright and sunny out, maybe where you are, but let's just play with some color palettes that are just more neutral. So here's burnt sienna. I'm loosening this up. I'll add a little ultramarine blue deep to it. So these two colors create a million different types of neutral colors, right? So that changes that burnt sienna from a bright orange to a more muted brown, like you see here. The two colors together make gray. I showed you that landscape last week that has the beautiful same two colors. Again, you can play around with these two colors. I might add a different color or two. There's burnt umber here. There's Payne's gray. There's a lovely color called Lunar Black from Daniel Smith. See, I like the granulated paints. It's kind of fun to play with these. And we can just keep the sky kind of blue if you want. You want to make less muted, neutral colors and add some blues. I'm going to loosen this up and put this back here. My palette seems to be flying down the table here. I have to put something on it to make it more flat. Just get some ultramarine blue deep. So we'll keep it mostly neutral. We'll add a little gray bluish sky here. So taking my flat wash brush, and I'm just going to kind of play like a sky kind of happening here. I put some gray there. I might get a little bit brighter with the blue. I'm just kind of wiggling my brush back and forth. Now I'm going to clean it off. Just grab some clean water, and then we're going to kind of just push down like this. This is semi-abstract, guys. Have fun with this. It doesn't have to be this perfect picture every single time. So that kind of could be our washed out sky. As we're playing with that, that's the sky. Like I said, I didn't paint every single area. Think of a sailboat, right? You have kind of like a rectangular shape, but it kind of curves in the bottom, and then with the mast like that. So grab some browns. I've got those two colors I mixed, like I said. Why I like them mixed because they make granulated colors and it just makes interesting looking kind of watercolor. So I've mixed them together, making a grayish brown, get a little thicker. Let's see how this goes. It's going to probably bleed a little bit. We'll try it. I'm going to hold it on its edge, the chisel end. Just going to go like that. It's bleeding a lot. Okay, we'll manipulate it a little bit more. I'm going to tap, just kind of twist like this. Add a little line like that. Definitely bleeding up here if I touch up here, right? I am going to clean up my brush a tad. I can remove some of this paint. More of a light beige. And play around with adding gold or whatever you want to add. So here's the burnt sienna. I'm just going to water this down, maybe add a little bit of yellow. I want a muted cream color. There we go. Tap on my paper towel. Kind of lift and go like this. I'm just having fun. Okay, I'm gonna put some of this color, and I'm gonna figure out my mask would go up here. Okay, so for now, it's kind of messing up my stuff a little bit, not liking so much of it. I'm going to like let it sit. I will do maybe like a blue reflection on the bottom. So I'm going to grab my ultramarine blue deep again, mix it with burnt sienna, just so it's that same kind of blue, and maybe kind of go like this, twisting and putting some lines down from here. Get a little bit deeper. So it's like water reflecting. I'm just playing. That could be the water reflecting going down. See how I just did that really quick? I left a lot of the white here. I can get a little bit deeper and darker by adding the two colors again. Get a little bit darker. I see kind of tip. And then, that's almost black. Go back with my blue here. It's just, like again, let's just talking abstract here. We're not making beautiful, perfect. I'm kind of I cleaned up my brush with water. I'm just kind of mushing down this color here. You can add a little bit of that too. All right, at this stage, I want to kind of let it sit. I'm adding some little browns in here. And I want to come back when it's dry and start adding in the mask and more filled out, like looking sailboat. All right. Okay, now that it's dry, I'm just taking the same flat wash brush, mixing the two colors again. Maybe get a little more brown. So, sailboat. I know I can play with like just a scrap if I could find a scrap here somewhere. Lord knows I should be able to find. This is hot press. So it could be like this, and you kind of mush, go like that for a sailboat, or even just kind of have it more of a square like that. And then you've got your mast. You see, you're manipulating the brush. This is a little too round. Like that. If you want to use a small brush, use a smaller brush. I'm going to get a little bit brown here. So I'm going to go over here, line across, going to push down, go across, kind of connect them like this and here. And they don't have to be perfect. Again, we talked about this. You know that it's kind of a sailboat, right? Clean up my brush. I'm going to make these thicker, almost like black, by mixing the two. And we'll do the mast. And we can just go like this, straight up. You can have it go completely. And we could just do some cross matches like that. Mast, having the mast come up here. Again, you can have the lines of the sail. Just like that. This is a really simple card to kind of play with. There's a lot of funky lines. You can make going up this way, that way. Just with your chisel end of the brush, get a little darker and deeper on the bottom of the boat. You can use the chisel end like this, hold it on the side, go like this, dot. Yeah, let me show you dark color. Dot, dot, dot for the windows. Dot, dot, dot. See? Just playing with the brushes. This card took nothing to make. Lots of fun. I'm going to get some more blue in here. Now you can do the mirror image of the mast down here. This one here. Again with the chisel. The color. We can put a little, boop, boop. This would be the cabin, kind of on top. Boom. It's our sailboat. It's fun. Now that we have a little guy over here, we could put like another sailboat. Again, mix those two colors almost like they're black by adding more burnt sienna, etc. Just go up here with the mast. Cross, lines down, all that good stuff. And then of course you have to mimic it on the bottom. Little sailboats. And then I might take my brush again, grab some blue, mix a little of that in there, wipe it off so we can do some dry brushing. We can play around with this a little bit. And the brush does this sometimes. You know, it's a pain in the neck when that happens. You kind of have to have like re-wet it to go back like this. It happens. It annoys me. It happens to me often. If you want to add little lines for ocean, like little dash lines like this, do that. Again, I just like the swiping of it. And look how cool that came out. Just kind of really unique. Just by using this brush and just twisting and turning. That's one really great card to make. I'm going to show you another one. All right, this one will require a little drawing. Just picture a little house or something like that. So I'm going to draw just a little simple house here with my pencil. A triangle here. Come down. You can make it more interesting than my boring one. Going across, right? There will be a window or two. If you want to have like another house kind of close by, or another building here. Again, go across. Put the land kind of be here. And maybe we'll have a space in between. Put this land going here. And have like another one. Kind of coming here. And that's the end of that one. We can do some trees, not do some trees. There could be other things in front of it. You know, like I might just keep it more like, oh, it could be like a barn. You know, if you make a really big barn, it's up to you. I think if I have a fence, I don't know if I have a fence. I might have a fence. You just picture a fence. Anyway, we're just playing with negative color. Negative. So the buildings, this one we'd leave white here. We put a color here, leave white there. Put some windows there. And we paint everything around it. So if you want to play with this a little bit, you can just add the water part with your flat wash brush. Don't hit your building. You can make it any size you want. Don't have to copy the exact buildings that I did. You can make it more innate, by the way. Just making it really simple for you right now. So I've got this ultramarine blue deep. And let's mix it with this lunar black. Let's see how this kind of unfolds as two kind of fun colors to play with. There's the lunar black. Ultramarine blue deep. Okay, I'm going to turn this upside down. And I'm going to bleed these colors into here. I'm just tapping that right on the edge of where we had the water. It's not really bleeding as much as I want it to. Oh, that one's really bleeding. But they're really cool granulating colors. So Lunar Black from Daniel Smith. Ultramarine Blue Deep from Holbein. So get some more Lunar Black. That one's really granulating. I'm going to put it right on the edge here. And then we can kind of just play with it, moving it around here. It's not moving much, so maybe I'll add a little water to kind of help it along. Let's see what kind of sky we get from this. You can actually add some more paint. I'm going to add some more Ultramarine Blue Deep. Get a little brighter. See what happens. We can just move it around. It's not moving, right? I'm going to have to get some more water in there. I'm tapping a little bit of water in there to move it. I could spray it, but I don't want the spray to go over the house. And there's a lot of pigment happening here. I'm just going to mix that. Interesting that it didn't kind of move here. I'm going to manipulate it. Lift up some of this paint here. Doesn't want to. So it's a lighter gray on the bottom here. I do want to go in back and grab some more of this paint, these two colors. Really going back in here, getting it pretty deep. Now it's bleeding like it should. And you're gonna play with going like this way and that way with the color, holding it, manipulating it, twisting and turning it. And then I'll take my brush and I'll lift some of this. You can lift it with the brush, you can lift it with the paper towel. It's up to you. Let me see how this looks turning back. Kind of cool. Woo! I might take a paper towel though. I feel like it's just a cute little bleed. Let's make it a little more interesting by twisting it, giving it a texture, removing a lot of it up here. And then we can go in and add some burnt sienna. Mix it in some of these colors. Woohoo! Water it down. Again, I'm just making this more interesting. Filling it with our neutral theme. Just abstract and interesting. So on the bottom, you can keep the same thing. Well, that's drying, so that's not going to move down here. I'm going to take these colors, burnt sienna, ultramarine blue deep. I need some more ultramarine blue. I go through this color a lot. As you notice, there's a big puddle here, so I'm going to kind of remove some of that. Yeah, it's one of my favorite colors, and mixing the two is fantastic. So here we go. Look at that blue deep. I'm leaving a little white space in between the two of them. Woo. And I might play around with adding another color or two. I don't know. I think, or just burnt sienna, kind of like here. So here we can have fun. We can just kind of move it like this. Get some energy happening with these colors. And leave white down there. It's just another kind of cool, fun, abstract, semi-abstract, because you know what the building looks like. It's an actual building. And mixing the colors together, getting some cool grays and blacks. Just like that. And I can go back and add some lunar black, which is the cool color. Woo! Kind of fun to play with though, isn't it? Nice little fun abstract. Might grab just clean water, kind of play with this down here. A little blue, a little beige. Leaving some white like there. And already you see the colors doing its thing, the granulations, the separating kind of a situation. Just creating something really cool. So we have to let this dry. I'm going to go in and fill in the colors for the houses and almost be done with it. So I'm still letting some of it dry naturally. It dries a little more intense, you know, if you just let it dry naturally. If you use a hairdryer to it or a hair tool or some kind of heating tool, it would dry lighter, and I want to keep it that deep color in some of these. I'm going to just grab my 1/2 inch at this point, and we're going to grab ultramarine blue deep, a little burnt sienna. We're going to paint some of the side of the houses because we're going to leave a little white space so it won't bleed into it. And let's see if it's going to be dark enough. Going right here. I might add a little more depth to the color. Again, blue, burnt sienna, blue. Make it a little bit deeper. That color. Same thing here. I'm leaving that white space in the bottom so it won't bleed into the paint. Isn't that cool? It goes like really comes alive. It's like 3-dimensional. I'm getting the same thing here. Well, here it could be the same thing, or we can just make it a little bit lighter so you can know that it's a building. Or maybe add some more burnt sienna, make it more interesting. So I think we'll do that. Make it more brown. Gotta be tricky hitting that blue though. Again, you don't want to touch it. Have it bleed into the blue. Just like that. Now at this point you could paint the windows. I would paint them more of a, obviously, bluish gray. I'm sorry, like a deeper gray. So adding the blue and the burnt sienna back and forth. And you can just kind of use a chisel end on this one. See on the side? cute little windows. And of course the roof. A little more on the gray side, so I'm adding more burnt sienna. Let's see how this goes. Try not to hitting that color. I'm leaving a little white space in between. See if I like this color. Whoops. I went over my section. That's not too bad. And here. Leaving a little white space so you know that it's a roof. But look how cool. It's just very dramatic, right? And you can start to play with, okay, I'm going to add the two colors again. Adding some like lines for a fence. See? Do, 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 do. And crisscross that. Do, 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 chisel end. You see? I'm just taking it, putting it on the chisel end. This helps you to see it sideways. Going across, some of it is bleeding, some of it's not bleeding. So you get this kind of cool abstract, and then go the cross line of the fence. Just little details. You can add like a little marks here. Make it interesting. But that's kind of it for that. Really kind of fun. If you want to add some trees, again, mix those two colors, maybe put like a tree, go hold it on its side, kind of wiggle it, and then make the lines for the tree. Just a kind of bally tree. And another one here around this house. Kind of a bigger one in the back here. Trees. Right? Even have like one with lines. It's up to you. It's kind of interesting. Right? Have one's tree trunk. Go up here. Make like a tree trunk. Branches. If you want, you can, instead of using flat wash, grab a liner brush. It's one of my favorite brushes. And make those little branches for the tree. So for me, I didn't like my tree. I feels like it doesn't make sense. It's kind of, I'm gonna just kind of mush it and see what happens. Maybe just make a dark area behind my house. I'm grabbing my brush, I'm cleaning off it with some clean water. Just kind of mush the paint. And I feel like it looks better. You can't really tell that it's a tree, so maybe it looks better like that. More abstract again. Right? This one you can tell it's a tree. I do my tutorials in real time, so even if I mess it up, I'm showing you what I would do. And I just kind of mushed it. It looks good. And you still get that granulation. So remove this, oops. Reveal. Just a really cool kind of card. You can write some nice sentiment below with the green, where the grass would be. And then of course we have our cool sailboat. Now there's no real deep dramatic color in there. You can use the liner brush for some details, but flat wash the whole time and then go in here and do some little details with the liner brush. Some little lines poking through, crossing, etc. Just making it more interesting. And then of course, like I said, the sentiment can be written on the bottom. So I hope you enjoyed these semi-abstract pictures. The key here is to create just a simple palette, and I just use those two simple colors, except the Luna Black. I did add that because the granulation is really cool. And look at the granulation on this one. All these wonderful nooks and crannies of the paper and all the two different colors. So much fun. Try limited palette, try these techniques with the flat wash brush, simple little buildings, look at the dramatic effect, could be great. And think about like maybe fall colors, you know, even more summer colors, it's up to you. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was fun for you. Think about doing some abstracts just by keeping a limited palette and makes things a lot easier. And of course, I only have 2 colors except that lunar black. If you want to know my tutorials up, please hit that bell notification button and click all notifications. That way, every time my video is up, you'll notice it. It will send you an email or whatever pop up. And that's how you will see my videos. I do them weekly. I don't stop. If you're a Patreon member, you get exclusive tutorials on Patreon. If you want to be a Patreon member, click the link in the description box below. It's where you support my channel here with all my content that you get free on YouTube. And I really appreciate it. And Patreon members get first dibs on watercolor workshops and retreats. You get extra tutorials. You get exclusive tutorials on Thursdays that are longer, more in depth than they are on YouTube that I don't do here. So I hope you have fun with Semi-Abstract. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.